again.
Born ready.
Born ready. Well, good. We started the podcast.
Jason Born ready.
Jason Born ready. Welcome back to the Reverbium podcast. We are on, I don't know what episode we're on, 31? I think it might be 31. But yeah, this week's podcast, we will be talking about a variety of things, but we will also be going
As
over...
per usual.
Yep.
What a shock.
What a shock. But we'll also be going over, well, I'll be going over, because I'm the only one that's seen it, the new Justice League cut, Snyder's Justice League cut. No spoilers, well, no heavy spoilers. I'll just go over how I enjoyed it. We'll get to it anyway. But this week we are going to start off with sport, and I'll just go first. I'll get the WWE stuff out of the way. There's only one thing this time. Sean, put your fake reaction in now. Come on, lads. Yes.
I'm waiting for the day he says there's none, but we'll take one piece.
Wow.
It's a step in the right direction.
You're gonna love it because next week we've got Fastlane like a review. So he's already going. He's preemptively going. Oh no. no, sir. But yeah, this week, Andrade, WWE wrestler Andrade, reportedly asked for his release, and apparently today, of recording, he confirmed that he asked for his release. He hasn't been given it, but he definitely asked for it. And yeah, not really a shock. They haven't been using him on TV. They've so much wasted potential. This man got them, not that it matters, from Dave Meltzer, but he got the first 5-star match in WWE for like 10 years. And he's been on, like, sitting in catering for like a year. So it's ridiculous. But yeah, he's asked for his release from the company. Whether he gets it or not, we'll see. But at the moment, he's still with the company. Yeah, that's all WWE stuff. So you'll be happy to know we got that done in under 2 minutes, Sean.
Get in. Now on to more American sports stars.
Next
leaving.
up, we'll let Sean
Brew
move on.
Drees has retired.
There you go.
Brew Drees has retired.
Brew Drees? Brew Drees?
Yeah, Brew Drees.
Brew Drees, yeah. Drew Brees
just
has retired.
Just testing you. I'm just testing you.
Testing
making
me?
sure you're
Okay.
awake.
Right.
Yeah, making sure you're staying awake to what I'm saying.
Go on.
Yeah, Drew Brees has retired from American football. The why have I forgotten? The Saints.
They're your team.
I know. That's
you
embarrassing,
support
isn't
them.
it? I know.
I'm a Broncos fan. He's a Saints fan.
Yeah, he's retired after he's been with the Saints for 14 years, and before they had 4 years at the San Diego Chargers. So one of the biggest quarterbacks in the sport, probably just behind Brady, just less successful, unfortunately. Manning, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Both of the Mannings.
I think a lot of people saw it coming. I think, especially after the last game of this season, that it did look like it was like a farewell situation.
Surprised Brady's still going as well.
So it would have been his 21st season, I believe, if my maths is right. In sports like that, is obviously a long time and so a long career to have. But yeah.
We'll
be sad to see him go.
It will be sad. Actually, I'll bring up another. It's a bit more personal news. Not personal news, but to my team, the Broncos, because it's the only one I've got in my head at the moment. I've got two. There's Philip Lindsay apparently mutually agreed today with the Broncos to part ways, which is fucking stupid. I don't know why they've let him go, but oh well. And also Deshaun Watson of the Texans. I think he's still at the Texans. He might not be. Was it Deshaun Watson? It was Deshaun Watson, right? But yeah, he's been accused again of forcing a woman to give him oral sex or something in another little lawsuit. I think it's his third lawsuit. Third lawsuit. He put out a statement on Twitter a couple of days ago about this, or about another lawsuit, maybe, because this news seems to be brand new. So, but yeah, crazy. But if he is like, found to be guilty, shocking. But he should go down. Should reap the consequences of his actions. But yeah, that's all the NFL news that we have readily available to us. Next up, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have finally, after years, agreed to a 2-match deal. I think it's a 2-match deal. The location has not been decided, but it will be decided in the next few weeks. But finally, we're going to get this. No more Deontay Wilder. No more whoever else wants to join in the group.
Yeah. It was kind of pushed back because Joshua had his mandatory fights, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think he still has titles.
He probably still does. They keep shoving them in his face to stop everything happening.
Just let him
but that's what you get with having so many titles, to be fair, is that he has like 5 of them, so surely he has like 5 different challenges. But
I believe I think both that like all of the titles are on the line, but I'm not sure. It might be one match certain titles are on the line and the other one more are. I know it's a 2-match series. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong though, but
so I'm trying to quickly look through.
Yeah, I tried to find it before, but I couldn't find the exact thing.
But funny, this actually came up like a few days after Fury came out and said that he was no longer training, wasn't it? He came out and said he was drinking 12.
He's shithousing it, isn't he?
Fury's hilarious. He's drinking 12 pints a day. That
he doesn't need to train for this
bodybuilders. Yeah, he doesn't need to train. He doesn't need a bodybuilder to spar with. He just needs a local bin man, and that he only needs about 2 weeks of training. He'll still be drinking 14 pints a day to beat him. So you gotta love him. And the thing is, he'll still turn up and put on a great fight. That's the thing. No matter what. I personally, despite what he says, he will take it seriously.
Yeah, I personally don't mind who wins. Like, it's
one of those where, as a British boxing fan, you're gonna win either way. Yeah, and it should be a really good fight, or you hope it is. Like, you can't going into it, you don't expect like a first, second round knockout. You expect it to be one that goes probably the distance, if not close to. So. Yeah, as a British boxing fan, it's one of the most anticipated fights for a long time, and it'll be great to see.
Yeah,
probably one of the only ones I'll actually pay to watch.
Pay to watch, but yeah, they have 30 days to find a venue, so expect some news before the end of April. We'll see.
I feel like that won't be difficult though. Surely, like Wembley will be wanting to stage that.
But it's all up to like, are they going to get that sweet Saudi money? Are they going to they won't do it in America? What's the point?
No,
like there'd be 0 point. So it's either going to be Saudi or it's going to be London, and it depends if they get fans there as well. It's reportedly going to be a summer fight. At least the first fight will be a summer fight, so you'd expect.
In which case, there could be fans, maybe not full, but some.
So. Also, to add on to a little bit more of some combat sports news, the next UFC event, I think, I don't exactly remember what day it is. I think it's April 21st, possibly. Will have a full capacity stadium in Florida, I believe. Dana White announced that they'd be doing a full capacity stadium, which is ridiculous, which is a fucking joke, but I am going to double check.
That's America for you.
Yeah. Also, I will put a little bit of wrestling news here, but WrestleMania's looking. It relates. WrestleMania's looking at least 45,000 fans for both days. Like 45,000 one day, 45,000 the next.
Jesus.
Which is ridiculous. But they haven't put tickets on sale yet. They were going to do it this week, but they delayed it until they have a confirmation of what they're going to do.
Right.
So, yeah. Florida doesn't give a fuck. I ain't going on watching on TV, so if you want to go and die, don't do that. But, you got to have a bit of common sense. You got to have a bit of common sense when you go to these things. everyone wants to do these things. Everyone wants to go and see these events, but it's not about what you want. It's about the people around you and who you're there to protect. If you don't give a shit about yourself, just give a shit about the other people that you come home to after you go to these events. But anyway, that's all of the stadium capacity news that we've got. We have one more sporting bit. I think I'll let you take it away. Bit of Sheffield news.
Well, we actually have two then.
We have two more sporting bits. I'll do.
Never listen to what I tell you.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, it just slipped my because I haven't got it on my list. Chris Wilder has mutually parted from Sheffield United. I think they're paying him to fuck off, something like that. I think this is a stupid decision. Yeah, it's a stupid decision. I have no sympathy for them. I hope they get relegated now. They will.
I mean, they'll go into anyway.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous. They said, I think they publicly announced like earlier in the season that they wouldn't get rid of him, and now they've just gone and got rid of him. What did they expect? Did they expect like nothing was going to change?
Yeah, so it's not like they're not going to get someone in at this point who will save them. They're 14 points off safety. But obviously it's possible, but it would take a bit of a miracle for them to get safety. And at the end of the day, who's going to come and do that? There's no one that comes to mind immediately that is available that would do that.
Yeah, I don't understand it personally. I don't think he was a bad manager. I think he was just in a shit situation. And they looked like they put their faith in him to, like, not save them, but to get them back up next season. But they haven't even given him the chance to save them this season. So, you know,
I think it's especially sad as well because of like the link he has to the club. The fact that he was a player there, the fact that he's the one that brought them all the way through the leagues to get into the Premier League, and then I can see why they've done it under normal circumstances of any other team in like this day and age of football. You would expect him to go, or probably been sacked months ago.
Yeah.
I just think I think it's a bit of a weird one where they're stuck with him for so long, and then now they've decided to. I feel like if they were going to, they probably should have done it around Christmas, if not just before. That at this point it seems a bit pointless, a bit futile, and that he probably would have been the best person to keep to get them back up because he's been there so long and knows what he's doing.
Would you rather have a manager or no manager? Like...
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I believe isn't Eddie Howe? He's not back with the team yet, is he? I don't think. I'm just going to check, but I'm sure that
I haven't heard anything.
Last thing it said that he's at Bournemouth. So for me, that's the sort of person I'll be going after. I rated him a lot when he was at Bournemouth. He did really well with them in the Premier League. Because I can't see Lampard going there. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head.
I forgot about Lampard. Wow. He could.
Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head any other managers. Imagine Lowe leaves Germany, comes to Sheffield, brings them back up.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
they'll be doing a lot more than scratching their balls there.
Like Valverde's not going to go there. Allegri's not going to go there. Sarri's not going to go there.
Watch one of them go there now, just to spite you.
Oh, they won't. They won't. Mark Hughes could be potential.
Where was he last?
But yeah. I'll just switch. He was at Southampton, wasn't he? Yeah, Southampton. But yeah, just quickly looking down this. No. So David Wagner, maybe if he wanted to come to the Premier League. Can't see Villas-Boas coming to the Premier League again because he didn't have a great time.
Well, they're not going to the Premier League, are they?
Classic. Oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely wouldn't. Then he wouldn't be down to the Championship, would he? Patrick Vieira could be a shout if you wanted to try and get into English teams, but again, I can't really see that happening. But yeah, at the end of the day, looking down this list, I don't think there's many people available. Whether they're able to prize someone else away from a different team, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those. I think you've got to go into that job, and they've got to come to agreement with the manager that they're not going to get rid of them if they go down. I think that's the issue they might have, is that no manager's going to want to come into the job if the board at Sheffield turn and go, if you don't keep it up, you're gone, because it's impossible, or pretty much impossible. But it'll be interesting to see who they do get in, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But my money would be on Eddie Howe.
Fair enough. On to Formula One, as always. Go ahead, Sean. Go right.
Classic.
The classic.
Yeah, so we had testing at the weekend. Obviously, you don't normally look too much into it. It's just a chance to see the cars out on track for the first time. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about, or for the past few weeks, we've been talking about liveries, and people were saying that the Williams did look better on track than previous did in the renders. I think the main thing that people were talking about is Mercedes struggling. Ended up in the sand quite a few times, but I don't think it's really anything to worry about. I think by the time we get to the actual race in Bahrain, I think they'll be firing. I don't think it's anything to get too excited about. We're going to get a new champion, we're going to get a new constructors champion. I think they'll be fine. They have the money, they have the people in the team to sort that car out before they hit qualifying for that first race. And then also today we had the announcement for the layout of the Saudi track. Obviously, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix coming for the first time this year.
It's a shitter.
Yeah, it's it's going to be the fastest street circuit ever in F1, which sounds really exciting until you realise that means there's probably not going to be much overtaking. So they've shown the layout. They've also put up a simulator, so it effectively looks like the Formula One game, where you're sat in the cockpit of a car and it takes you around. I think there's probably about 3 braking points in the entirety of the circuit. Yeah, when I first saw the layout, I was a bit intrigued because it does look very different to any other circuit. But yeah, when you then start reading into it about how they've laid it out, it doesn't look like it's going to be great.
So it's going to be
money. It's going to be another classic Middle East circuit, not Abu Dhabi. They've paid the money to be near the end of the season for the big climax, and it's going to be awful races. Abu Dhabi is not a great track as it is to finish with. To have this track just before, obviously, we don't know until the cars are on track, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's going to be that exciting, especially because there's the issue still this year, as well as been for many years before, the dirty air of the cars behind making following difficult. If you're having a load of fast corners, it's going to be the same situation here. So yeah, I liked for a start they look like they're doing something different with the track layout, but we'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see. I believe that's all our sport news. So gaming news. Little Big Planet got hacked. Yeah. You might not have played Little Big Planet in years. I don't think many people have, but the servers got hacked. And the devs, were trying everything to fix it apparently, but I think Sony contemplated just shutting the servers down for good because the game's been out for ages. Even Little Big Planet 3 has been out for years at this point. But even I think the devs and a lot of fans online and on Twitter started hashtags to save Little Big Planet. And I don't actually know how it's going at the moment, but that was big news earlier in the week that this whole thing, it came out of nowhere. I think they're still they still have a few server issues currently, and I don't think there has been much of an update since. I think they'll try to resume service at the end of the month, but other than that, there's not been anything else since then. But yeah, that was like, I'd say it's probably big news considering like it was so out of like, I think the hack actually came from a disgruntled fan who was annoyed at how Sony had been taking the franchise, or how the developers had been taking the franchise with the release of Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which came out a few months ago. Maybe I think it might have been release title or just after release of the PS5. But yeah, it's just a thing that happened, a crazy thing.
Before you move on, there's actually a bit of sport we missed out. Just wanted to talk about the England squad.
Go ahead.
That got announced today. So yeah, was the international friendlies, or are they actually? They're not. Oh, they are World Cup qualifiers. Apologies. They are World Cup qualifiers against San Marino and Albania, and also Poland. Oh, there's 3. Okay, don't want to get that. So one good game in there. First call-ups for goalkeeper Sam Johnson of West Brom, mainly due to the injury of Pickford that he's picked up, and also first call-up for Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa, which personally I think is well-deserved. He's played brilliantly so far this season. Notable admissions will be Alexander-Arnold. I believe Southgate came out and said that he's just not been playing to the high standards he set for the past few years, which you can't really argue with. It's not been his best season. You can say that about most Liverpool players, but yeah, I think you can't really argue with that. There are 3 other right backs in the squad of Carl Walker, Kieran Trippier, and Reece James, which definitely Reece James, I think on recent performances, deserves to be there, probably ahead. Wan-Bissaka also misses out as well. I can't say I know too much about how Trippier's been playing over in Spain, but I'm assuming he's been playing quite well. The other main one is Sancho as well, because of injury that he has, but Jude Bellingham does get a call-up as well from Dortmund. And the big Jay Lings himself, after his recent spell on loan at West Ham, has made his way back into the England squad, which is exciting for everyone to see. Going to turn the San Marino pitch into a dance floor. I don't even know if we're playing at San Marino. It could be Wembley. Who knows?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, they're at home to San Marino, disappointingly.
I just stumbled upon some big news, so I've been looking that I really wasn't paying attention to you, so I was trying to soak in this.
Okay, that's fine.
This
that's
news.
Fine.
Today, I completely forgot about this, but luckily I found it on Twitter. Square Enix just had a big Presents conference live stream, like an hour-long live stream where they announced a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go over a few of the things. A few of them are quite big. There is a game called Outsiders coming out, which is apparently some sort of survival action game. There is Tomb Raider, the definitive Survivor trilogy, so they're putting all of the 3 games together, and they will be all launched at a price of $19.99 in dollars, so it'll probably be like the same here. So that's pretty good. There is be nice if the Twitter didn't crash. There is an expansion pack for the Avengers game, the controversial, pretty lackluster Avengers game, which is apparently called, I think, Black Panther: The War for Wakanda. So we're getting Black Panther in that. If anyone still plays that game, enjoy. Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm are both getting remastered in a collection, which is quite funny because I just played through all of Life is Strange 1 last week. So the timing on that is quite funny. Cheers for telling me this a week after I played it. But yeah, there's that. There's Forspoken, which was I don't know if you remember when the PlayStation 5 got announced and all these games were shown, but there was a game called Project Athia. This it was like this sort of demo sort of thing, and that is called Forspoken now. It has a name, and it's been described as a thrilling story-led action-packed adventure from Luminous Productions for PS5 and PC. So that's coming from there, and from what I can see, the final big announcement was Life is Strange True Colors. So the fourth Life is Strange game. Sorry, my apologies. I believe it's the fourth game, and yeah, not much known about it. It's coming out September 10th. So yeah, so a lot of Square Enix. I'm literally just reading this now. Like I'm going through. There's more news. There's
hot breaking news.
there's more news on this list, but those were the big ones that I really saw. Like a lot of them was just, they're doing a new Hawkeye expansion for the Avengers. I think that was already known. There's something about Space Invaders coming back. There is a new Hitman mobile game coming out. Well, it's under the working title of Project Hitman Sniper Assassins. So it's going to be like the Hitman Sniper mobile game. Or there is a Sniper Assassin mode in Hitman 3. So it's going to be something like that. There's a Just Cause mobile game that is coming later in the year. And yeah, I may have missed some stuff, but I'm just going off the Twitter.
Don't sound too excited, Jimmy.
There's nothing crazy. Like if they'd announced a new Tomb Raider game or a new, I don't know, Deus Ex or something, maybe. But at the moment, it's just like, it's alright. Life is Strange was pretty good, the first one, but I haven't played Before the Storm or Life is Strange 2. Yeah, but Life is Strange 1 was really good. I played all the Tomb Raider games. All are really good. They sort of go downhill. Not much. They're all really good still, but you know, I'd like to see where they go going forward. But yeah, that's it for the Square Enix one. I have one more gaming bit, but do you have anything? Or
just a small one saying that EA Play is going to be added to the PC version of Xbox Game Pass soon. Previously it was just on the console, but it does mean that PC players will get access to a lot of EA titles.
Woo. Yeah, there will be on PlayStation now. They do this play at home program thing, which they've been doing for a little while, but they brought it back for Ratchet and Clank last month. It was free for anyone who downloaded it, and
still free at the moment.
It's still free
if you haven't got it yet. I believe it's 1st of April.
Maybe, yeah. But a bunch of new indie games and actually a pretty big title will be free starting from March 25th. I think they will all be free. Yeah, I can confirm Ratchet and Clank April 1st it ends. But yeah, I'll read off these lists. This list. There's a game called Abzu, which is I think in a similar vein to like Journey and Flower, if you've heard of those games. This is a dungeon crawler called Enter the Gungeon. You know, maybe. There is Res Infinite, which seems to... I have no idea what this game is. It says shooting action, thrilling journey, remastered and upgraded. And it has VR, if you're interested. There's Subnautica, which is actually quite interesting. I've seen it before. It's the alien world where you go underwater and just explore. Yeah. There's The Witness, which has some great reviews online. But yeah, it's a big puzzle type game. That'll be interesting to play. Astrobot Rescue Mission, which seems to be a sort of VR continuation of the Astro World game for PS5. There's a game called Moss, another single-player action-adventure puzzle game. A game called Thumper, which seems to be a rhythm game of some sorts. It has rhythm written in the description about 3 times, so I'm going to take that. A game called Paper Beast, which had another puzzle game, possibly. And there's also been a
great insight
extended
here to these games.
Huh?
Great insight here into these games.
I could read out all the things. Yeah, I know nothing about any of these games really, but there is a Funimation extended trial which will be starting on March 25th and it will go through to April 22nd. So if you want to watch any anime, anything like this, Attack on Titan's on there, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, there's a bunch of stuff on there. It's a good time to start. Take advantage of that. And the big one, the one that I've actually played, Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition, so it has the DLC expansion as well, will be available as a free download between April 19th, 8 PM Pacific time, and April 20th at 4 AM for British Standard Time, I believe, until May 14th, May 15th, depending on your time zone. So I definitely recommend anyone who hasn't played that game to pick it up. It was one of the better games on the PS4's early days. But yeah, that is that play at home news. Very nice of PlayStation to do something like that. They have a big selection with the PlayStation Plus collection already, so yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
That's
Thank you.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got on my list.
Thank you for that thrilling insight. Thank you very much.
Thrilling insight, yeah.
Okay, I'll do a little bit of music. I've been dabbling in the music recently.
Yeah.
We had the Grammys this week, so I'm just going to run through,
Bunny.
just like I did.
Former WWE 24/7 champion.
You shut up about WWE. Stop bringing it up in every section. We don't need it.
It's funny. It's just hilarious.
We don't need it. No one cares.
Look. Just because you haven't been WWE 24/7 champion, it doesn't mean you have to get your pants in a twist.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine if somehow in the future you get big enough that one of us can become the 24/7 champion.
just see our truth on the street and roll.
It's how they get me on board. Anyway, record of the year was won by Billie Eilish with Everything I Ever Wanted. She's also broken an Instagram record this week by dyeing her hair blonde. Don't know why anyone cares.
Excuse me.
But yeah, she's broke the record for the most liked picture on Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah, because she's dyed her hair blonde.
Interesting.
When I can scroll down, that's a good little time killer. Album of the year went to Taylor Swift for Folklore. She broke a record with that. I can't remember what it is. Is it the most times to win album of the year? I think she's won most times for album of the year.
Probably.
Song of the year, I Can't Breathe by Ernst Emil II, H.E.R. and Tiara Thomas.
It's about that.
I'm hoping it's H.E.R. instead of just her. Could be either. Who knows? Best New Artist went to Megan Thee Stallion. I believe she also won Best Rap Song, becoming the first female winner of the award. I'll let you know when I get down there. Best Pop Solo Performance went to Harry Styles for Watermelon Sugar.
What a surprise. Didn't expect that.
Best Pop Duo / Group Performance went to Rain On Me by Lady Gaga with Ariana Grande. Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album went to James Taylor with American Standard. Best Pop Vocal Album. What's the difference?
I just love your face there.
Traditional.
What's the difference?
What's the difference between Best Traditional Pop Vocal and just Best Pop Vocal? What?
They're just trying to pad them out.
Anyway, Dua Lipa won with Future Nostalgia. Best Dance Recording went to K-Tranada featuring Kali Uchis.
I feel really out of touch with today's music.
10%. Oh, yeah. Best Dance / Electronic Album was also K-Tranada. I believe it's K-Tranada with Bubba. Nice. Best Contemporary Instrumental Album. piss, aren't they?
They're just making up words now and putting them together for.
Best rock performance went to Fiona Apple with Jamaica. How many of these are there? Best metal performance went to Body Count with Bum Rush. Best rock song, Brittany Howard, Stay High.
I've never heard of any of these songs. What's happening?
Best rock album, The Strokes, The New Abnormal. Best alternative music album, Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Best R&B performance, Beyonce with Black Parade. We know one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She also became she broke the record for the most Grammys won by a single person. I remember that one.
Nice.
Best traditional R&B performance. Let It See. Butchered it again.
You're the
Anything
one
for you?
This.
Best R&B song went to Robert Glasper. I can't say this. I generally
just
Michelle Undegiakali.
We'll accept it. We don't know these people.
And Gabriella Wilson, better than I imagined. I sincerely apologise. I cannot apologise enough. Best progressive R&B album, Thundercat. It Is What It Is. I'm not even halfway through. Best R&B album, John Legend, Bigger Love. Best rap performance, Megan Thee Stallion with Savage, featuring Beyonce. Best melodic... Taking the fucking piss. Best melodic rap performance. Fuck off. Anderson .Paak with Lockdown.
I love
Best rap song, Savage. Again. Best rap album, King's Disease by Nas. Best country solo performance, When My Amy Prays, Vince Gill. Best country duo / group performance, 10,000 Hours by Dan and Shay and Justin Bieber.
Never complain about wrestling again.
Just
never complain about wrestling again after reading this list.
Best country song, Crowded Label by Brandi Carlile, Natalie Hemby and Laurie McKenna. Best country album, Wildcard by Miranda Lambert. The thing is, I'm going to go through this, and right at the bottom is going to be a useful one that I know. Best New Age album, More Guitar Stories by Jim West. I should have looked at these before to cut out the shit. Best improvised jazz solo.
You can see us
career with All Blues.
You can see us slowly dying, and it's probably making it more entertaining.
Right,
so.
I'm skipping through to the actual useful ones because there's a whole jazz section that I don't. Best Latin jazz album.
Come on. There's a Latin one. There's a Latin one.
Questions by Arturo O'Farrell and Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra.
Get to the Latin one. Come on. The best Latin album.
I just did the Latin one.
No, there's a best Latin album.
I think I've gone past it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, best contemporary Christian music album, Jesus is King by Kanye West.
Oh, fair enough.
Bring out the
tunes. I forgot he had a... Wow, okay.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Best Latin pop or urban album, YHLQMDLG by Bad Bunny.
The boy, the 24, former 24/7.
Is that supposed to be a word you can pronounce? I have
no idea.
Just some Latins.
I have no idea. It's Latin, so well, it's not Latin, but you know what I mean. It's not our language.
I think we're done.
Probably...
I think we're done with the main ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to move on to something else, I'll let you know if something else pops up. But
literally, all I have left is Justice League. So
okay, well, you talk about Justice League, and I'll.
Well, we're on to the big moment. The bit I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League today. It only just came out today. I watched it before we got on the podcast. Sorry, and I'll give my opinion on the original film. When I first saw it in the theaters, I really enjoyed it, but I could recognize it wasn't a good film. It was just okay. You know, as a comic book reader, it would appeal more to me than it would appeal to the wider audience. So, like, I'm a big DC fan anyway, so I went into Zack Snyder's Justice League expecting, you know, a lot from this highly touted thing. And I'm going to make a big claim here. One of the best superhero movies I have ever seen. And even after 4 hours, I would have easily watched a few hours more. It went by so quickly. It was ridiculous how like different the movie is from the theatrical cut, and the fact that they barely filmed new stuff. Like, this is all stuff Zack Snyder had before he had to leave the directorial position because of what happened to his daughter. And they brought Joss Whedon in, and then him and Warner Brothers were just like, fuck Snyder, we're doing our own thing, and fucked it all up. Like, Zack Snyder himself has said he hasn't watched the original Justice League. He just did it off what his vision was. He didn't see what any of Joss Whedon's stuff was. He just took all of his stuff and did what he needed to do. And I really, really loved it. I thought it's arguably, I'm gonna say it's better than the original Avengers. I don't think it's better than Infinity War, because Infinity War was the culmination of all this storyline. But the original Avengers, and well, Age of Ultron definitely is better, but it's up there. I think on IMDb, it's the second highest rated comic book movie of all time, which is crazy. And that's fan votes as well. And people will be like, yeah, but fans are going to be so biased. Look at any other DC movie or any other comic book movie. They don't get this level of, like, these are people that have actually enjoyed it. I have seen loads of people on YouTube that are like, you know, sort of the YouTube critics, or people that are really into movies, like I don't know who I have in my head, but there's just a lot of people out there who just didn't like the original Justice League and loved this. Absolutely thought it was amazing, and I'm with them 100%. There are a lot of critics who gave it 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5. I'd honestly say it's about a 4.5 for me. But as a DC fan, I probably related more to it than a lot of people would. But there was a lot there to love. I'm trying to do this without saying spoilers.
So just to back up, it is second on ratings from IMDb, just 0.1 behind The Dark Knight.
I honestly, considering everything that this movie has gone through,
57.
Yeah, the Metascore is really like, the Metascore from critics is weird, but the fan score is really high. Is Rotten Tomatoes is quite high as well. It's like 75% or 70 something percent. Critic scores, they're all over the place. Just watch it yourself and judge it. If you have a spare 4 hours in your day, just go and watch it. It's easily accessible to a lot of people. In the UK, it's on Now TV. You can get a free trial for a week. You can watch it anytime you're free. In America, it's on HBO Max. Again, there's probably a free trial, or a lot of you might already have it if you're a fan of these sorts of movies, because all of this shit's on there. But yeah, amazing. It's just the way that Snyder has not taken these scenes because they were his original scenes, but the way that in the original film these scenes had this context, but in his film they have a completely different context. But not a lot of them, but like I think 20 or 30% of the movie are scenes we've already had, but they're in a new context. Like the end, like the end fight scene, if you've seen the original Justice League, like it has parts that are very similar, but there's stuff like when Superman comes back, it's completely different. The Flash has a huge part in this. Like at the end, he was just sort of there trying to save like this group, this truck of a family or whatever. None of that's in the movie. That was all Joss Whedon. He has a huge moment in this. Like without him, they wouldn't have been able to stop it. But it's just crazy. There's a huge cameo in the movie, which I'll be very sad if Warner Brothers don't do another Justice League after this. If you've seen the trailer, I am going to spoil this part. Darkseid has a much bigger role in the movie than you'd expect. You might expect to see like a one scene cameo. He's basically like Thanos in sort of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, where he just sort of he appears throughout the movie, has a sort of, I'm not saying he's in it all of that much, but he's in a bunch of scenes, different scenes. The war scene from the original Justice League, where Like it shows the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and the men going and fighting Steppenwolf. That's been completely redone in Zack Snyder's image. Darkseid is a huge part of that, and it's so much better. I honestly don't think there was a scene in the movie that didn't improve upon the original. I think everything was there. Sure, you could have cut like 10-20 minutes out of the movie because Zack Snyder likes slow motion, but it was a director's cut. You're going to see a director's cut. You're going to get a lot of that. So, but that stuff is still good if you like visual stuff. I've seen a lot of criticisms on some CG in the movie, like some of the CG wasn't great. I didn't really notice it. I think that's very nitpicky. Maybe if you're really, really looking into the finer details, you'll see it. But there's only one time I really noticed it, and it was a scene near the end of the movie with Cyborg. But it wasn't that bad. Like, really, I've seen worse superhero movie CG before. You know, it was average. Steppenwolf, a big criticism was that he was terrible in the original movie. This movie, he had motivation. He gets more motivation later on because there's a big reveal, which, especially for comic book fans, they'll understand. Like, the original movie just had him trying to destroy the Earth, and that's how it sort of starts off. But later on in the film, they discover something, and it becomes more about destroying the Earth, but then taking something from the Earth, without trying to spoil that. But Steppenwolf looks 10 times better. His role is way better. The end with him is way better. What happens to him at the end is way better than being carried off by a bunch of parademons. The action in this movie is incredible. It's about 100 times better than the original movie. Every action scene is great. I was really impressed from the start where the scene in Themyscira where Steppenwolf goes and tries to take the mother box. That's all like hugely improved. The scene with Wonder Woman by herself where she tries to stop those terrorists with the school children, even that's way better. Like every fight scene is improved in this movie. The ending especially. Superman's return is better. Like the return itself is quite similar. They still do similar things, but the way he comes back, the way he dons the black suit, because he wears the black suit, it's in the trailers. I'll get off with that one. He wears the black suit throughout the whole movie that he's in. He's in just about the same, maybe a little bit more than he was in the original. I mean that proportion of the movie, like the last hour and a half is when they start getting to Superman. But I just think there's reason for the team to be together. There's motive. Like before, they just felt thrown together. Now there was reason. Like they actually feel like a team, like the Avengers did when they came together finally. And I think Warner Brothers will be stupid not to capitalize on this, even if like they get a couple critics say, "Oh, it's a 1 out of 5. It's not. If you don't like the movie, it's fine. You don't have to like the movie." But I personally thought it was excellent. I think it's something Warner Brothers should capitalize on going forward. This story they've got.
At the end of the day, it looks like it's something the fans are enjoying, and at the end of the day, you want to make films that the fans are going to enjoy because they're going to come back for more. So
yeah.
They'd kind of be stupid not to capitalize at this point.
You will notice in the movie, it's still quite funny. There are funny moments. A few of the funny moments are still in it, like the Flash's whole "what superpower have you got" to Batman and him just saying he's rich. That's still in there. But there are a few jokes that are cut out. The biggest one I remember is the one with Aquaman and Bruce Wayne, like near the beginning of the film, where he says, "I hear you can talk to fish." That's not in the movie. That was clearly a Joss Whedon joke. But yeah, every character had like meaning, like they had a purpose in the film. Sometimes you felt in the original that Cyborg Like, he had so much story and they just took it out. All that story's in. Cyborg's a major part of the movie. He's probably, I don't know, the main character, I want to say. He's that important. Even his father's got a bigger role, like a hugely different role to what he had. There's loads of cameos, like I said. Wonder Woman's even better in this movie. Batman, a big criticism of the original Justice League was that they had this Batman from Batman v Superman, and then he was just tonally like different and then just out of the way. And he is tonally different in this Justice League as well, but he's just good. He's just good. Ben Affleck's still good. Like, he's much better in this than he was in the original Justice League. Aquaman was probably the one with the least amount of development, but in a way, he's the one that needed it the least because he's the one that actually has the movie, you know? And it's not to say he didn't have development. He definitely had development. There's more scenes with him in it. It's just compare it to everyone else. Him and Flash probably have the least, but the Flash has major moments. Aquaman has major moments. Like, everyone has a purpose in this film, and it's good to see that Warner Brothers didn't just throw it in a vault and just tell Zack Snyder to get on his way. They actually invested in this, and apparently they did invest in this because they saw what Netflix were doing with all these TV shows like The Witcher and stuff, and they were like, well, let's just invest in doing it and putting it on HBO Max. You know, if people don't like it, they don't like it, but if they like it because they clearly saw potential in this, or else they wouldn't have put millions into it, then yeah, like, I'm glad Warner Brothers made a good decision for once. It is something that is very rare. But yeah, definitely recommend anyone go take 4 hours of their day to watch it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It might not be the type of movie for you, but I can't not recommend it because I enjoyed it that much. And especially if you're a fan of comics, especially DC comics, because they're definitely tonally different than Marvel in a lot of aspects, I definitely go and watch it. It's probably not for kids. Like, there's just a lot more blood. There's a lot more blood in this. Like I said, the action is better, and a lot of it is down to the fact that they don't care if limbs get torn apart. Like, there are moments when people get cleaved in half. That none of that was in the original. But the funny thing is, the R rating comes in because there is one scene at the end of the movie where Batman swears. And yeah, it's a good use of the swear word. Actually, it is a very good use. But yeah, it's just, there's so much in this movie that makes me look forward to potential things to come. And whether we get it or not is up to Warner Brothers. And it's up to Zack Snyder if he wants to come back. At the moment, I don't think we're going to get it, but if this is the way we go out, I'm glad we got a definitive version of Justice League that the company can be proud of, that Zack Snyder can be proud of, and the fans can be proud of. So yeah, that's my spoiler-free review, I guess. I genuinely think it was a really, really good movie and one of the best superhero movies out there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my 20-minute rant there, Sean. It wasn't really a rant, it was a review. Definitely wasn't a rant. But yeah, that is the podcast for this week. Thought we'd capitalize on the Justice League coming out, so that will be the main topic. Follow us on Twitter, tweet at us. We've been a bit slower on there, I think, recently, but there's not been a ton of news that we can really talk about other than stuff that we talk about on the podcast. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, obviously, like, comment, tell us what you want to see. We're just truckling along as usual, and enjoy Justice League if you get to watch it.